We're live.
This is. Hey, Holly, how do I turn this up other than like literally putting it like in my mouth?
There's a
Which one of these?
the slidey up you one.
I guess I should have done this beforehand, right? Yeah, maybe before we walk all the way out of here.
The slidey up you one, dude.
Please don't touch
The sliding thing isn't the thing that I need to do.
Which one is taller?
I definitely could.
I'm just.
Yeah. No, you're fine. I mean, just a hair would be fantastic with you. This should be good. That should be absolutely fine. Thank you. Sorry, it's been a long day. A little thirsty and welcome to the panel. I am the Shotgun Shogun, and today I'm going to be talking about Fate Grand Order. How many people in here have played Fate Grand Order or currently play it? I'm super sorry. How many of you are whales, or are you free to play, by the way?
I'm mainly.
In between.
Mainly free to play. I enjoy the meme. That's the meme though, because you drop like 4,000 seed quartz, and then you're just like, oh, by the way, I'm totally free to play, by the way. You know, oh yeah, I got 4 MLB K scopes, totally FTP, right? So I don't have to go through the history of Fate Grand Order or anything like that. This originally was a panel where I talked about Type Moon and like the Fate franchise, and then I realized that there's 2 types of people that would come to that panel. Either the person that knows nothing about Type Moon, or the person who knows exponentially more than me about Type Moon. And I would be like, yeah, dude, let's talk about the Dead Apostles. And they would be like, and half of the room would be like eyes glazed over, and the other half of the room would be like, actually, what you just said about Dead Apostles is 110% wrong. Let me tell you about it. I'm just going to take over this panel. Thank you very much. And I'm like, actually, you know, I was like, sweet dude, let's literally go get dinner and talk about Dead Apostles and like how badass ORT is and stuff like that. And like Nasu versus War is just so crazy, but I don't know that much, and I literally just read off of wikis anyways, so I didn't want to just bring up a wiki in the panel, just be like, all right guys, like here's the wiki, you know, make sure that you sign up for the giveaway, like, fave, and subscribe, here's my Patreon. It's a joke, if you guys don't know who I am, I'm a YouTuber, and everybody's like, oh, Shotgun Shogun just reads off of the wiki, and makes 10-minute videos for ad revenue. So because we're live on YouTube, I like to make jabs at myself, because if you can't laugh at yourself, you know, well, I mean, guess you can laugh at anybody, but, you know. So I actually did snip the wiki from this just because I wanted to be a little bit cheeky, but Fate Grand Order is gotcha hell. Literally anybody who tells you, no, man, I've got this fantastic gotcha game that you 110% have to get in. The rates are so good. That's because they don't want to suffer by themselves, because, you know, literally you will be the one on the, what is it, the right-hand side up there. I got to remember everything is the opposite on my screen, because that's exactly how it is. As soon as you get those 30 quartz, like, and it's real hard too to get there, because you're like at 27 save quartz, and you're like, oh man, I could just do it right now. I could just do it right now, but if I get 3 more, I can get 9 Mapo Tofus. But I'm guaranteed a 4 stars, so you know that's not bad. You know, but it's gonna be like be elegant, which, you know, is the best CE for EMEA if you put it on your support list. That's an old joke to some of the early Anaplex
Yes, it's his own panel.
where they brought on people that really didn't know anything. And they're like, yeah, no, Be Elegant is a very fantastic CE if you put it on EMEA. Thankfully, Albert and the Anaplex team have gotten a little bit better, but wait, there's more. Waifus. That's what's really important. So usually I do have like a bit of the room that doesn't know about Fate Grand Order, so I have to coax them into the gotcha hell that that I am part of. And what is Fate Grand Order really good at? Taking badass historical dudes and turning them into underage girls. If they're not an underage girl, they are a lady with breasts that could choke out the sun, Raiko, for instance. You know, but it's like, oh man, let's take insert super badass, old school dude, and you are now, you know, an underage girl with no pants. Jack demands pants. I really wish that they would just put in a costume where I could just give her a nice cardigan, a nice pair of pants, and some egg pads because she deserves it. But if you're not into waifu collecting, there's always the story, the plot, the outstanding gameplay, again, historical figures. You've got all kinds of stuff to get you into this game. But the struggle. It is a 1% gotcha rates, 0.7% on the rate up servant. Like I said, rate up is always a lie because you're gonna get Rama spooks with like a bunch of them. You're gonna literally get every saber before you get Proto Arthur. Every saber before you get Proto Arthur. You're gonna get Vlad every time. Yeah, he's a 5-star, but Vlad's gonna spook you everywhere. Roll the GSSR for riders, Vlad. Sabers, Vlad's there. Doesn't matter. You're like, how did I even get a Berserker in this? It's DW. It's Vlad. He comes and hangs out. But even when you do get your SSR servant, the grind is real. I think there's only been a couple of gacha games that I've actually played where the grind is worse than Fate Grand Order. I played Grand Blue for a little bit. That one was a crazy grind. Epic 7's grind is pretty bad. But the nice thing with Epic 7's grind is it doesn't feel as bad. Like you're always doing something. One of the things for Fate that really kind of got me when I first started playing it is if you play any other gacha game, as you do battles, you level up your characters. So I started playing Fate, and I played quite a few gacha games and mobile games before that. And like when I started, I didn't even know that JP was a thing because I mean nobody really knew JP was a thing over here. I mean there were some people, but it wasn't like, oh man, this game is coming in, you know, a year or something like that. I didn't really do too much research. I was always really big into Fate. So as soon as I saw that it was coming, I was like, oh hell yeah, dude, that's awesome. Then I'm like, I'm gonna go dig up some information on it. I'm like, oh, that's right, I can't read moon runes. I guess I will just kind of wing it. And so like when you first start playing it, you're just assuming, oh, well, I'll just battle and level up my dudes and mostly chicks. But you don't. And that was such a weird thing for me from a gacha game because I'm like, okay, so I'm grinding endlessly for materials to ascend my characters, but then I also have to grind XP separately. So it's really weird, and like with Epic 7, it kind of puts both of those together like other gacha games. But really, the grind is pretty bad in Fate Grand Order, let's be real. And this really sums it up. Every time I'm talking to somebody and they're like, yes, I got the 5-star server, I got the raid. I'm like, have fun with those like 700,000 evil bones that you're going to need for every server that needs them.
Hearts.
Yeah, or hearts. Never enough hearts. Even though we got the heart node in Shinjuku with like a 12% drop, do you ever have enough? No, you don't. Pages 2, Barbados. F in the chat for Barbados. He went too early. I would have paid St. Courts to revive Barbados. The one really awesome thing though that came about with Fate Grand Order was Fate Grand Order memes. I am a big meme farmer. I love memes, and just it was so good. So many memes, so great. But with memes, you know, comes like community too, because you need a community to memes. That's why I made a channel and a Discord, so I didn't have to go gather all of them. They're perfectly curated for me in various channels. And I just go in and scoop off the best ones from the top to retweet for people to be like, wow, how do you find so many good memes? And I'm like, well, I outsourced my meme farming. That's how you gotta get smarter, not harder. Now if only I could outsource my page farming or Dragon's Teeth or Proofs of Heroes or, you know, Stingers, any of those things. thankfully during the Solomon event, I got enough Wenugos that I will never have to farm those again. But, yeah, no, it was really fun. It was really cool. There's so many things that have actually come about because of Fate Grand Order coming to North America. We're gonna see the Babylonia and the Camelot anime, which honestly, like, and I've talked about this before on podcasts and stuff like that, I was a little agitated that they didn't do the other singularities at all, because since Fate Grand Order is so story driven, and it's so much unlike other gacha games, like, if you're not playing Fate Grand Order for the story, you're missing out on so much. It's literally an anime, it's like a visual novel with rock, paper, scissors attached to it. You know, the game, the depth of strategy in the gameplay for Fate Grand Order is not extensive. I mean, realistically, you can beat the game with 1, 2, and 3 stars if you invest in them correctly. Sometimes you don't even need craft essences. You can beat it with like 3 AP costs, like the Dante's Prison Tower events, which was super fun. Like, who even needs seeds? Let's just, you know, let's beat this. But, like, you need to. All right, there we go.
Screw it.
But, you know, the thing is like so much stuff has come about, and it's like you have more people getting into the animes. Like a lot of people that might have a friend who plays Fate Grand Order but has never played Fate. Now it's like, well, I'm playing the game. I want a little bit more context into this. So it's really awesome because coming to North America is not only getting us more anime, it's not only getting more people into Fate, it's there's people that I've seen cosplaying from Fate Grand Order, and I've been going to conventions for a real long time. Typically, you'd see a Saber Face, you'd see a Rin. There's some Shiros, you know, archers. That's about it. Every so often you'd see a Gilgamesh, but it would always just be your core Fate Stay Knight. Now, when like Zero came out, you saw a little bit of diversity, but it was typically all of those characters. Once Fate Grand Order hit North America, you see this gentleman right here. I've seen Saber Frans, I've seen Moriartys, I've seen Sherlocks, there's Berserker Nobus. And one of my favorite things, not only because it's Berserker Nobu, because Berserker Nobu is amazing. Nobu in general is amazing. When do I get my cheap Nobu server? Would be the best. Nobu, right now, I am in heaven because and Nobu sounds. But the thing is like you see some of these people, and it's like you know that this person plays the game because who went out and was just like, oh, I'm going to cosplay Berserker Nobu. I don't know anything about the game. You know, there's a lot more easy, low-level fruit that you can play, you can get if you just want the cosplay clout. So it's like you see some of these very, very obscure cosplays, and like you would have never seen that if Fate Grand Order didn't come to North America, because it's not in the anime. It's, you know, it's not like most people don't go and like, well, I mean, a lot of people don't read the visual novels, but it's not like it's prevalent things that are anywhere besides the game. Not only that, but I mean, look at the dealer's room. How many more figures and merchandise do we have now compared to even like 5 or 6 years ago? Like, I collect figures, and since Fate Grand Order hit, I have so many figures. Like, I have so many figures that I have like a giant pile that I haven't unboxed yet because I need more space for those figures in time to unbox them. And it's like every month, it's just like, oh, and we're dropping another Musashi figure. Oh, you want this Ozymandias figure? Because that figure is amazing if you haven't seen it. It's so good.
It's so rare too.
Yeah, well, it hasn't come out yet. The Ozzy on his throne with him just like kind of kicked back, looking like a straight
There's
G.
another one out too.
Okay, I'll have to look for that one. But I know the other one was just teased at Wonderfest, and oh my God, when Wonderfest hits, the amount of fake merchandise that is just everywhere is crazy. And the thing is if they didn't bring the game over, we never saw that. Like, the game's been out for a while over in JP. It never trickled over to this side because there wasn't a market for it. So even if we as NA players, I have, you know, my own opinions on how we get treated compared to JP. The residual off effects of Fate Grand Order, you know, are just so good because it's just so much stuff. I love all the figures, the animes that are coming out, the fact that, you know, we got the Heaven's Feel movies,
Yes.
which if you haven't seen Heaven's Feel 2, oh my God, so good. I saw it at the premiere for the FGO tour, and it was so hard to not talk about it with literally everybody for the last couple of weeks. I'm just like, I want to talk to you about this, I want to talk to you about this, but you gotta wait. I gotta wait until you see it, because I don't want to ruin anything, but, oh my God. So it was, it's really awesome, and I think that the USA Tour is going to do a lot too, to kind of help build at least a little bit of that community interaction. Because unlike other gacha games and other mobile games in general that are handled by like Korean or Chinese companies, JP games really aren't that good with reaching out to their user base. They're just like, here's some stuff. If you don't like it, sucks. Whereas like games like Epic 7, they're a Korean-based company. They're like, hey, what do you guys want us to do? Because we want your money. If you want us to do something to give us money, we'll do it. Like right now, like you want some live PvP in a gacha game? Like you want to play against a real person? Yeah, we'll do that. I don't know how we're gonna do that. I'm super excited to see that. But like you have other games like Azure Lane that's just like, hey, we'll talk to you all the time, but we're gonna wreck your wallet with all of these skins. Like, you guys like this character? We got 17 skins for it. You're gonna wanna buy all of them. But I think that like Fate Grand Order coming to North America is a completely different market for them, and their live streams and the FGO USA Tour are a good next step. I think that there's a lot of room to grow there, but it's really hard to come off of a game that has 2 years of history without doing something, excuse me, like Danmachi Memorial Freeze, where they're just like, hey, and you're caught up. Like, the game just released 2 weeks ago, dude. Yeah, it sucks, you're caught up today. We're not even gonna deal with that. You guys are getting all the new stuff right now. So there's like a lot of games, but the thing too, and like I've talked about this with people in the past, is with Fate Grand Order, you can't do that because it's so story driven. You know, you can't just go, here is all of Epic Freedom. You just get it right now. Because you're gonna have people that are gonna wanna go at different paces. You have limited banners that like never come back. Like out of the Chaldea Boys, Conversation of the Hot Sands, which is probably literally the best CD out of there, never comes back. So it's like if you just skip banners or your banners are too fast, you don't give your people time to, you know, save up things, they're gonna miss those. And you know, if you're a collector of any sort, first off, you're in the wrong game. But, you know, if there's something that you've been like waiting for, and they're just like, oh, we're gonna push this out at breakneck speeds, you know, unless you're selling organs and or blood on the regular, like you're not gonna be able to get everything you want. I mean, I'm a huge whale, and there's still times where I'm like, man, I gotta pump the brakes, dude. Like my bank account is really just not having this at all. I'm like, I need to make some more 10-minute videos so that I can ad revenue. By the way,
Like and subscribe.
guys in the description, guys. You know, you are the backbone of my account. I mean, channel. You know. So it's really a weird balancing act for DW because if they put it out too fast, you run into like where they're at in Korea, where it's just breakneck banners, events, overlap, you know, stuff like that. But if you put it out too slow, we're literally always going to be 2 years behind. And one of the things too that recently happened was like a mistranslation or a misunderstanding when Nasu, the main writer, was like, oh, after this next thing in JP, I'm done. And everyone's like, if he leaves, does that just mean the game shuts down? What happens to all my PNG waifus? Like, are they just gonna shut the doors? And I'm like, no, they're not gonna. It's just stop. Like, this game literally made $3 billion last year or something like that. I think I just saw that article, and it's just like, yeah, no, they're just gonna be like, you know what? We decided that we hate money, so we're just done with this. Sorry, guys. All of your PNG waifus just sucks. you North American people, we're not even going to continue doing this. Like, sucks. That's one of the big concerns is if we're always 2 years behind, when they shutter the game, like even in 10 years, if we have never caught back up, or like, why would they still invest in translating it? You know, that's a big concern. It's like, because nobody's ever gonna, if they go, well, you got 2 more years left of content, we'll keep translating it. I'm not gonna be like, well, I need to spend $1,000 on this banner, you know, and that's just gonna poof in 2 years. So, and it'll be really interesting to see how things go in the future with us always being perpetually behind. And like I said earlier, with the game being so story-driven, it's not like they can do a Danmachi where it's just like, you get the newest stuff, we're just catching you up right now. Whereas like, you know, even Azure Lane, who's not super story-driven, they're like, okay, well, we're gonna push the stuff out super fast. You'll get the event at the same time that they get the event, you get the original, they get the rerun. So it's, yeah, so it'll be interesting to see, you know, where they go with things, what they do in the game. But for the moment, I am absolutely loving the ride of the figures, the anime, you know, all of that stuff. I actually think that it's a good idea for Nasu to step down, take a back seat for Fate Grand Order, because Tsukihime remake.
Yes.
Yes. You know, next season of Carnival Phantasm when? You know, Carnival Phantasm FGO collab when?
Yep.
You know, I want my Berserk card. You know. So it's, I feel like with him taking a back seat and just kind of overseeing things, and the other thing too is it also gives other people a chance to come in and breathe some additional life into the game. I mean, look at a lot of the events. A lot of the events are written by other people, and hell, some of the events are just are super amazing. They're super funny. They're super punny. They're corny. They have a lot of fun with them, you know, and it'll be nice to give some other small trees a chance to grow into the Fate franchise, because, you know, if you always have one person with one vision, you stifle other things. Fate Strange Fate is amazing, not written by Nasu, you know. So I think that doing that will also allow, because Nasu has a vision, and the game story has to go a certain way. Once those shackles are off, they can potentially do more collabs. You know, they can potentially have a little bit more freedom with where they take the story. You know, I would actually like to see MASH become the main villain. We were actually talking about that in chat last night when I was streaming. How sweet would it be after the next like Wasp Belt, they just go, hey, guess what? MASH is the bad guy all along. You know, and then you get MASH altered. Oh, alters, man. There's not an alter that I'm not like, I just want to hug you. And just, I love alters. Even the Demia alter controversy, which the thing with that though is, I'm not upset that they did it. Like, there's a good reason. There's a whole lot of good reasons. I think they could have done it a little bit different. But the problem is that opens them up to censoring more things down the road that they've said that they are not going to censor, they're not going to change. I mean, take Abby, for example. Yikes, you know. So it's really weird. That was definitely something that kind of caught me off guard. But it's like, you know, I listened to all of the differing you know, opinions on it. I agree. It was probably the right step. But where's my 100 sync ports that China gets every time they have to change something? Yeah, most people didn't know about that. They were just upset about the censoring. I'm upset because I got shafted out of my 100 sync ports. You know how many mana prisms that is? Quite a few. Not that I even need them at the moment, but, you know. And if anybody follows my channel, they know how much of a stickler I am for my 20 sync ports for the anniversary. Which I will be there this year, Albert, if you're watching, which I think you do sometimes. We'll be there. You better not shaft me out of my 20 sync ports this year. So, But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff, and you know, Fate Creator Order. And like I said, a lot of times people really don't know too much about it, so I get a little bit more deep into like mechanics, stuff like that. But yeah, so we're a little bit early, so hit me with some questions.
I have a question.
Yes.
So if there was a collab with another Type Moon series franchise, what collab would you be most interested in?
Carnival Phantasm.
That would be
Without a
great.
doubt, because I think that it would be so much fun. I think that the person in it would just have a ton of fun with the jokes, with the inside jokes, with the different servants, because I mean, you know, you'd have all kinds of cool servants, things like that, you know, yeah. For Carnival Phantasm, plus, like, the opening to Carnival Phantasm is perpetually stuck in my head, you know. Actually, at like 50K subs, I have to like learn that dance and do it on my stream because I said it during a 24-hour stream, and they're like, "We're gonna hold you to that." Because like things that I say on stream, people will clip and come back and be like, "Hey, remember that time that you said that if you got 1,000 subscribers, that you would dress like Rin Tosaka and do a 24-hour stream?" And I'm like, "Not really." They're like, "It's right here." Well, yes, I've got to do that. So, or when I'm like, yeah, when I MP5 Jalter, I will literally dress up like Jalter and become my own catalyst. And they're like, "Hey, remember when you said that?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah, no, I do. I do. That's right, I need to watch what I say on my streams." So, but yeah, no, it would definitely be Carnival Phantasm. I think my second, though, would probably be Strange Fate. Because I would like to see them put, I'd like to see them put Archer Kirk into the game. Even though he would be the most busted servant ever, because I mean, he's the most busted servant ever. But I think Strange Fate would be really cool, and I really want more people to get into Strange Fate, because I like Strange Fate. I want other people to like things I like, so, but yeah.
So, on the topic of crossovers with other Type Moon franchises, I was talking to a friend of mine about this, like, after the Heaven's Field show a few days ago. Since our Triad is already in the Fate universe, which is in Fate XCC, what do you think is more likely to introduce her into Fate Grand Order? Would it be like an event similar to the Card of Yokai? Or do you think it would be a lost spell where, oh no, something's wrong in like this area? There are more vampires or something. We have to help Shiki and Orchid.
I think that it would most likely be a lost spell. I feel like event-wise, it would, like, for the stories, a lot of times, like, events are a little bit more compact in terms of all of the things that they can do versus a whole singularity type deal. So I think that that one would definitely be introduced in a Lost Belt singularity type story because they would have a lot more to work with in that. So yeah, I definitely would, and I would actually really like to see the return of, you know, of Shiki as well. I would like to see some of these characters make more appearances, even if it's not like crossover wise. I would like to see them like in story, not necessarily like, you know, a servant, but like Assassin Kamino when can't come soon enough. But it would be really cool to see them, you know, have like just start yanking people in from like alternate, you know, pieces, you know, even if it's like the same servant, but it's like an alternate story servant that just kind of like got yanked in from other things. Because I liked the story for the Fate Zero event, where it was those servants from this, but it was adjusted because you're there. You know, I would like to see things like that, where we're like, boom, we're in Tsukihime, boom, we're in, you know, Unlimited Blade Works, which I'm always really surprised that they've never done Unlimited Blade Works. You know, it seems like pretty easy, low-hanging fruit to just be like, we had the Fate Zero event, let's have an Unlimited Blade Works event, you know, and then potentially you could have a Heaven's Steel event down the road after that's finished as well. So they have so much stuff to work from, and they just keep putting out, you know, quality versions of servants. It's like, use what you have. Use things, like if they put out, you know, if they put Shiki out again, like, oh, everybody was like, oh my god, I gotta get this again, you know, stuff like that. So yeah, definitely Lost Belt.
Who's your favorite nail servant, and who do you think is the best nail servant? Because
Who is
mine's
my
Ozymandias.
favorite and who is the best?
Well, who do you
So,
think in your
husbando wise would be, I have to go with Gil, Castor Gil,
I love that.
because Castor Gil is way more chill
Than regular.
than regular Gil. As for what should I do? 3. I'll do gameplay wise, Waver, because Waver, literally you've got the big 3,
Yep.
but all of the big 3 are overshown by Waver. Because literally there's not a team that Waver can't really fit into. So, and then from who I would personally just like hang out with as like a super cool dude, Kintoki, Rider or Berserker, either one. But probably Rider because his bike is super sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to sit on the replica of it at the Favorite Order Tour, and I was just like, oh my god, dude, I wish I just had one of these. It would be so sweet. But yeah, no, I dig Kentucky, and I love the story where, like, any story where it's like Shuten and Raiko and Kentucky interacting, because oh man, he's such a cool dude. Yeah. If you see any good questions on chat,
Yeah.
just let me know.
If you guys have any questions for the panel here, let us know. And I'll read them out. Oh no, I've got my leg as a tripod.
Any other questions? Yeah.
You gonna do a convention poll?
Am I gonna do a convention poll?
A poll?
Oh, dude, I don't have anything for it. I just got all of it. like-
Buy some more.
Huh?
Buy more. Oh. Hey, chat, should he buy some more Saint?
Don't ask chat.
Chat's
There's
gonna
never a
say hell
time-
yes.
There's never a time where chat will be like, no.
No!
Totally stop.
They're never reasonable.
One person, but then everybody else will be like, hey, dude, how about you shut your mouth? I want to see this dude sell his house for white.
I knew it was a horrible idea.
Who are you gonna try rolling for?
Who am I going to try rolling for? Probably another Okuda, actually, because I need poster girl.
Somebody did an $80 pull.
I just walked in. Did anyone in this room actually manage to summon Arthur?
Me.
I mean,
I got it in my first draw, actually.
Are you free to play?
Sometimes.
tickets.
Sometimes I did whale once on an Ozymandias pool, and I got him in before.
Roy asks, why did you ditch Astolfo for Cass? Cass Guild.
Oh, as my husbando?
Yeah. Sorry, the chat's going fast, so I couldn't read the whole question.
Yeah, no, chat does that.
You're at 168 right now.
Why did I ditch Astolfo for, well, Caskill was husbando, but Astolfo was best boy. Oh no, wait, hold on, that's Bedivere.
Best girl.
Astolfo is just the best character doing their best. I would hang out with Astolfo and ride around on Astolfo's hippogriff and just do Astolfo stuff. I was a big fan of Astolfo's character in Apocrypha. Like, if it could have just been, if Apocrypha could have literally just been Astolfo and Mordred, that would have been like the best. All of the rest of them really didn't care too much. I was like, man, when can we get back to Mordred doing Mordred stuff? You know, just actually having a dad, because Shishigo was like the best dad and master. I was actually a little upset with Apocrypha that like they really didn't get much screen time at all. It was like, oh hey, here's the Jean Sieg show, and you're like, dude, he's cardboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And then everybody hated it because everybody was like, cardboard protag stole my waifu. So, but I think like one of the things with like the Apocrypha anime is like a lot of people like, it sucked. And I'm like, no, it's pretty good. Like if you go into it like reading everything about out Apocrypha and having like this, you know, heightened sense of this has got to be the most amazing thing that's ever existed, yeah, you're gonna have a bad time. But if you go into it and you're like, you know what? I had a good time. The fight scenes were pretty cool. I actually, like, a lot of people didn't like when the fight scenes would change art styles. Like it would go from like regular anime to like cool cel-shaded subwoofer blowing, you know, art style. And I was like, no, dude, that's kind of cool. Like I like this. It's like the cel-shaded fighting was just really, really sweet. But everyone's like, man, it took me out of my element. And I'm like, all right, that's cool, dude.
I guess I have 2 questions. What was your favorite heroine of Fate, and what was your favorite heroine of Tsukihime?
Can I just say Gadako for both?
Go for it.
Because that monster would transcend and go into both of them. Saber Shiki and for Fate, gonna have to go with Sakura. You know, I would say Medusa though. If Medusa was a heroine, I felt Medusa got such a bad, like she had E-Ray blood for that war. Medusa did nothing wrong, and you're just like, oh, I feel so bad for you. Like I actually felt bad for like a lot of the servants. I'm like, ugh, you just pulled the short straw. I'm sorry about that, but yeah, no. For Tsukihime, I was really big on Saber Shiki, which is why like I pulled for Saber Shiki pretty hard. So I like kimono waifus. That's a big thing for me. It was a lot of aesthetic. So
Tsukihime, Shiki's in Kara no Kyokai.
Right.
I'm sorry.
I do appreciate that you appreciate Yogi though.
yeah,
I love Shiki too. but
I bet
I'm
my
sorry.
chat's just like, what a retard. Look at you. You didn't even know. You didn't even
No,
know.
it's just Shiki's my favorite type of
Tsukihime,
female.
That's a tough one because that was a real long time ago. But it's probably gonna be Arc. That's probably what I would go to. Like if I went back and just like refreshed on everything, it might change. Then again, my tastes have also changed since the last time that I went through that. So I'll probably find some way to put Tomomo in there, even though she's not in there. Which my waifu, if that's a question, is Tomomo Cat, 100%. Tomomo Cat is like the best because she is just adorable. We would take naps in the dazzling sunlight, which I mean, you know, it's like the best noble phantasm. Like, oh, what's your noble phantasm? I don't know, man. I just like fall down and take a nap and dance and help points. Look at you. Look at you. Chat question?
I'm not sure which ones are trollsies, which ones are not. So I know Bernie says, who do you prefer between the Stay Night Shiro lovers, Rin, Sakura, or Siba?
Oh, it would be Sakura. Yeah. I mean, Rin's thighs though are like hotter than the sun. Like, you know, you got that little bit of thigh meat over the top, just A+.
Thick.
Back in the back.
When you like were playing, I guess the question is, who is your white whale in Fate? Like, who's the character you like threw quartz at and like never got, or who was your white whale who got? What character you just wanted out of everyone?
So the one that I threw a lot of quartz at and didn't get was Cleo. I spent quite a bit on her, but I only really wanted NP1, and the problem was it was at Halloween, which right afterwards was Merlin, Ishtar, Musashi, Gramps, Dante's, which were, you know, a plethora of banners that I'm just like, oh, okay, well, because I had to NP5 Musashi and Gramps because I said that I would, and because Musashi is waifu and Gramps is husbando, mostly because of the Gramps comics. Like, reading the Gramps comics and, like, just looking at his lore, because I went, like, into his back history and everything, and I'm just like, there's no way I'm not going to NP5 this dude. Thankfully, he was also an absolute monster of a badass, so I was like, boom, Safeports. Actually, I got him pretty quick. I think it was like 1,400 for NP5. Musashi was like 2,400. The one that took me probably the longest was NP5 Dante's, and I already had one, but I'm pretty sure that like the other 4 cost me like 2,800 St. Ports, and I was like, well, not stopping when I'm behind. I'm like, I've already went this far. I'm just gonna keep on going, just going.
Which servant would you bring into an actual Holy Grail war other than Tamamo Cat? That's from Gorgon.
Which one would I bring to absolutely win? Would be Gilgamesh. I mean, easy clap right there, boys. After the chat for that one. You know, but if Gilgamesh were out of it, I would probably say, well, I'd have to pick one that like is already established. I can't just be like, oh, I'd take Archer Hercules. Easy win there too. I would probably say Karna. Karna would probably be next because I mean, lore-wise and like backstory and stuff like that, Karna's really one of the characters that can fight toe to toe with Gilgamesh, depending on how much mana, how much power their master has. Because I mean, dude's got plot armor and literally a spear that's made to like just crap on divine beings. So pretty easy.
Another one from Happy Muffin. Seeing as the game is getting old, do you think they will run out of servants and or stories eventually?
So I don't think that they'll ever run out of servants because they could just take a dartboard full of historical figures and go, and all right, that one's now a female.
With no pants.
No pants. I've always wanted to see them. In the last time I did this panel, I was talking, and me and a friend had talked about what it would be like to have a Holy Grail war, but you could only use servants from like the last 200 years like of America, and I was just like, ooh, Dale Earnhardt. Easy peasy, his noble phantasm would be the Daytona 500. As he ascends, he gets more sponsors and patches on his jackets. And then he goes from just punching you to having a wrench to having 2 wrenches,
And then a car.
Yeah, it would be, what's that? Yeah, last one, he's just a car. Because if Fate Grand Order likes to do anything, it put enormous servants into the game. Take up your entire screen. Hey, let's put in 2 King Proteus and an Ivan. Oh, how does the enemy servant even do anything? It's just like, oh, sweet. So yeah, no, it would be Gil or Carly.
There's a question here that's actually making me laugh. Albarb.
Oh, barbecue?
That's the one. Does fan art, fan comics influence your opinion on how bad you want to serve it, other than Gramps?
I'm going assassin, yes. 100%. So I strictly play NA, so I don't really keep up too much with JP servers. Like, it'll come out and they're like, oh, okay, that's cool. It's a new Saber or something. But then I'll start seeing the fan art flood Twitter, and then I'm like, oh yeah, no, I'm gonna get that server. Like I need to go look at whatever that server does because wow, yeah, cosplays, fan arts, fan comics, obviously with Gramps, even Edmund Dante's. Like I wasn't gonna pull for him at first, but then I like the fact that like Gramps hates Dante's, so I was going to use Dante's and be like, hey, here's my catalyst. You want to cover my catalyst? Mess this dude up, So it definitely worked, although it did scare him, scare Dante's away for a little while. But yeah. So, any more questions from the room? I talked to you for like hours, so.
Another question. So you mentioned that sometimes you do have servants that you look out for, like Dante's. So what servant now are you looking forward to?
Everything summer.
Everything summer.
Everything summer this year. I'm also really looking forward to Fall Bunyan, actually, because Fall Bunyan has like the quickest NP in the game. So it's just like done. All right, sweet. Because when you're farming a lot, like whales do, you need a quick NP because precious seconds of your life when you're farming 200 plus lottery box event, you know, they take days off of work and you just have monster and you're just like, all right, man, I gotta get these gems. Gotta get these gems. I got so many hungry servants. Like that's the real problem with whaling. It's not financial ruin or anything like that. It's literally that when a lottery box event comes around, you have to go hard because you've got so many servants that you've got to level up. And every time you get a new one, you're just like, oh, do I even have enough? Do I even have enough talents to level this character? Oh, I don't. Okay, well, I better get to farming. Hopefully there's an event with a shop and a decent drop rate on them. So thankfully events usually do have decent drop rates so you can knock two birds out with one stone. So one scene port. Yeah.
Are you excited for Kiara Shonen from Fate Extra that's coming in May, I think? It's she's beast number 3.
I don't actually know that I'm familiar with that. I will be though. All right. All right. I will. Hold on. I'm gonna put my thing up here so I can do mine.
The one that's in my hand?
My phone.
Yeah, I do. I was gonna let you go for a little while with it before I was like,
I gotta see if my hotspot's on so that I can project my screen.
So I was asking if you could pick somebody else from history other than Dale
If I can
Earnhardt.
pick somebody else from history other than Dale Earnhardt.
Chuck Norris?
Yeah, but well, I guess they actually don't have to be dead because Archer. Spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen Fate Stay Night in the last, what, 14 years is it now? Because it was 2004 or 15 years. Yeah. If you haven't seen it in 15 years, it's really good.
Berserker Abe Lincoln.
So
So he-
it would have to be from the movie Abe Lincoln.
Vampire Hunter, yeah.
Yeah, which movie was actually pretty funny.
I think I'll watch it.
What's the next servant you want to get in altered?
Ooh, next servant that I would want a Stolfo altar. That would be pretty cool. So instead of just like the happy-go-lucky, having fun, super edgelord.
He's incredibly buff.
Super buff, like Spartacus buff.
Yeah.
Astolfo in Spartacus's outfit. That man was all muscle. Oh, Kiara. Oh,
Yes.
okay, yeah. No, I'm gonna roll with her.
Yes.
100%. Although I'll probably roll for a couple copies of Melt, just because she's really good in the future. See, that's the problem though with NA is that we know what's coming in the future. So it's tough because you're like, well, this character kind of falls off, so I don't know if I want that, but this character is really good right now. It's bad right now, but as soon as Scotty comes, Scotty changes everything. It's like the Fire Nation. Quick resurgence of the quick meta and everything like that. Not that the Buster meta ever really goes away. It's just people were so used to Buster and Arts meta that they're like, wait, I can use these green cards again, and they do stuff. Awesome. So, yeah. I mean, I pretty much roll for like every servant. It just depends on how hard. And actually, I think that she is very underrated. I've seen Rexcellent do some insane stuff with her. He's a huge JP whale that spent like, I don't know, I think it was $135,000 on the game.
God.
And I'm just like, how do you even do that? Like after 135K, don't you have everything like multiple times? And it's like, yeah. Oh, okay, well, cool, dude. Like, you do you, man.
Yeah.
Like, must be nice, man. Fixing this mic stand. It is.
Falling asleep.
It is my hair. But, all right.
I have another one. You said that you've welled on this game. How much have you spent? in
So
your
when I
bonus?
did my taxes,
'Cause I've only spent
16,239.
That's as much as I'm
Whoa.
Well, okay, so that wasn't just Fate. That was Fate, Danmachi, Epic 7, and Azure Wade. I didn't pull out.
I meant on Fate
specifically.
alone.
So that one would be tough. I'd have to break that one down because it's always just like Google Play $99. I guess I could filter it on like Azure Link is only $89.99. This one's 90 even. This one's like 49. So I would have to like split that out. But I would say probably out of that at least probably about 11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I basically only rolled like 50 for Aussie.
Okay.
So,
I mean, did you get Aussie though?
yes, I did. I
There you go. I actually think that like if you play the game, you get enjoyment out of it. At least going in on the GSSR is always worth it. Like, I mean, I see some people that are like, I'll never spend money on a mobile game, and I'm like, dude, you play that game like 5 hours a day. Like, try to get that much enjoyment out of any Xbox game that you play. You pay, $60 for other than Monster Hunter.
Say Monster Hunter.
They're just like, I play this game like 22 hours a day. I haven't slept in like 3 weeks. And I'm like, bro, calm down. I'm like, no, you don't understand. I have to get my cat a whole new set of armor. All right, dude, cool. So, yeah, probably, I'd say probably around 10, 11. When Epic 7 hit, I was like real casual at first. And then I wasn't. That was real quick. The one problem though with like gacha is after you start whaling, it's super hard to stop because you're just like, well, I've already invested, a couple $100 in this game. What's another 50? And then you're like, all right, I'm like a couple $100 plus 50. What's another 50? Can't stop when you're behind.
Sunk
Then
cost
you're just
fallacy.
You're just kind of like, okay, well, I guess I'm eating ramen and peanut butter for the next 3 weeks.
Rice.
So I know I work 5 miles away, but it looks like we're getting some exercising because I've got to walk. So it is definitely rough. I specifically have a bank account that I put money into, and it's like if that runs out, I stop. So I always make sure that everything, and that is a rule that everyone should follow for gacha. Make sure everything else is handled, and then you put your fun money over here, and you don't go past that budget. I mean, I've broken that rule quite a few times, but yeah. So you just that's because I've seen a lot of people like on my channel and stuff like that. They're just like, dude, I literally spent my rent money on this servant.
Oh no.
All right, so we gotta have an intervention. Like,
Definitely.
like, I don't really know you that well, but that's not good. We need to talk about this. Like, don't try to emulate me. I make a lot of money. I can spend it on waifus, My mom's like, oh, you should probably go on vacation trips. I'm like, waifus are forever.
Or until the game shuts down.
Right. There's bears outside. No bears in my house. Literally, statistically, every single bear that exists is somewhere outside of my house. I stay inside and roll gacha, not going to get attacked by any bears. So I risked bears to come here and talk to you guys. So I do have 4 minutes, so I'll take this last question.
In your opinion, what is the most difficult singularity, but I think I already know the answer, is Camelot, because Camelot's been like...
So the reason why Camelot was difficult, and it wasn't super difficult on NA, because we knew all of the cheats, we knew all of the gimmicks. When Camelot first came out in JP, they had no idea. there wasn't a guy that said, oh hey, by the way, Wayne is literally going to take no damage, and he's just going to just move all over the place. So they had to learn everything as they went. So for us, while it was hard, because a lot of people didn't prep for it by leveling Uriel, Steno, I feel bad just putting in Satan's or, so while people didn't really spend that time leveling those servants, then they had to go back and level it because they didn't have the people that they needed. They were working on the servants for other singularities. So that's a lot of the reason why Camelot was really hard. You had gimmicks that, threw a wrench in your plans, and you couldn't bring your beastly servants. I mean, unless you just double waver Jalter the whole thing, easy game. That's what I do sometimes. I'm just like, man, I'm tired of this double waver Jalter. Win button. I paid for that win button, so pay to win. But I do have to get out of here so that the next panel can set up. I do appreciate everybody for coming out and hanging out, listening to me talk about Fate Grand Order, and yeah, if you want, I will literally, I'm just gonna hang out outside because I literally just want to talk about it. But hold on, I'm gonna do this, maybe I'm gonna do this then. So here.
Dun, dun.
Here, I'll
Oh
put.
man, the lag is real.
Dun, dun,
So let's see.
dun, 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 dun.
Gentle affection.
Oh, dude, I hope this is okay to right here.
If it is, I'm gonna be kind of upset.
Dude, I'm gonna. It's
got MS.
no, it's an Archer.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
PM you.
No, it's at Atlanta.
Oh, that's one I haven't.
All right.
I don't know if you can see it from that angle or not.
You know, and
Ugh.
spent money on it.
4 stars. Okay, we didn't get a 5-star, but we did get a 4-star. So that wasn't bad. All right, I'm out of your way.
No
1
worries,
second.
take your time.
Say goodbye.
All right, see you guys later. Thanks for hanging out in the stream, and I will be streaming probably after I get back from dinner. So
Yeah.
I'll catch you guys later. Take it easy. Peace.